also see no evidence that Putin is ready to withdraw forces from Ukraine, which would open the path to a settlement. In fact, Putin is doing the opposite. He said that the Russians are going to press on. He's talked about going on for as long as it takes. And his objective is to control Ukraine. So I don't think that we're anywhere near the brink of a settlement.
Do you think it's only a matter of time then before the Donbass is completely in Russian hands?
The Russians have expended a huge amount of force over the last few weeks and ammunition to push forward a fairly small number of miles into Donetsk and Luhansk. Putin has now indicated that he's going to go on with this operation. His ultimate objective has always been to get Ukraine to collapse so that he can control Ukraine. There's no evidence at all that the Ukrainians are willing to surrender territory that is Ukrainian, is recognized by Russia as Ukrainian, to Russia. So I'm afraid we're into a war of attrition, and both sides now are getting pretty short of equipment and have taken very heavy casualties. But the suggestion that this might be verging on some form of peace settlement, I'm afraid, is Cloud Cuckoo Land.
What about but what will happen if, I mean, obviously the Ukrainians don't want to give up or surrender any territory, but if, as has happened in other parts of the country, the Russians overwhelm them and they take all of Donetsk, and then that's pretty much all of the area in the east that they said they wanted to take control of. Is that a kind of a specific milestone, a kind of a point in the conflict at which some kind of discussions need to take place?
Well, there are discussions taking place already. We don't know fully what they are. We can see that negotiations have happened over the exchange of bodies, which is happening. There seem to be negotiations about possible exchanges of prisoners. But if you're saying, will Ukraine now accept that it has to surrender territory that's been taken by force from Ukraine, I see no evidence that the Ukrainians are prepared to do that. And I also see no evidence that Putin is ready to withdraw forces from Ukraine, which would open the path to a settlement. In fact, Putin is doing the opposite. He said that the Russians are going to press on. He's talked about going on for as long as it takes. And his objective is to control Ukraine. So I don't think that we're anywhere near the brink of a settlement.
How and when do you think this will end? Do you think, is this a matter of years or decades?
I'm afraid it's certainly a matter of years. It can only end, we can only resolve this problem. And by resolve it, I mean restore peace, security, stability to Ukraine and indeed to Europe when there is a change of approach in Moscow. And I do not believe that there is any chance of Moscow's approach changing while President Putin and his friends remain in power. So I'm afraid that what we are looking at now is a long conflict, a long confrontation. It cannot go on at the intensity of the last 18 weeks. Neither side can sustain it. But there will not be peace until such time as Russia is prepared to completely change its approach, withdraw forces from Ukraine, and seek to coexist under international law, not only with Ukraine, but with all of its neighbors and with the rest of Europe. So we have to gear ourselves for a very long struggle. And let's remember that only a week ago, the Group of Seven, which means the United States, the UK, Canada, Japan, and the whole of the EU, said very firmly, we will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes, providing the needed financial, humanitarian, military, and diplomatic support in its courageous defense of its sovereignty and, very importantly, territorial integrity.